Tick tock, it's time to rock. It's my pleasure to be on an off 5150 show week, Brad. An off week, but we're on an on show. We're on show, brother.
We are, and you threw a spanner in the works at me, mate. You threw it in there last minute. Brad, we're going live this Saturday. I thought I'd better get my act together.
Oh, mate, look, I appreciate it. It's always a good little opportunity I think we have with the 5150 show to have that off week for precisely this reason. So we're lucky enough and fortunate enough to have a young cat with us, a guy called Hayden. He's down there on the bottom, guys, so we're going to be talking to him soon, but I'll have his Instagram account. There it is there. If you guys haven't checked it out, go and check his Instagram account out. But just to give you guys a bit of an idea, like a lot of people, we spend a lot of time on Instagram and we check out all these Van Halen guys. And I don't know how I found Hayden. It must have been on one of his music clips. And then he sent a message saying, "Hi, how's it going?" And I said, "Oh, yeah, great." And then I checked him out and I go, "Oh, my Lord, this guy's a young guy." And... and he's playing some great chops, Brad, and I'm going, oh my Lord. So anyway, we had this conversation, and I told him about the 5150 show. He said he watches us, so wow, that was great. So we're talking a little bit of Van Halen. So Brad, I said to him, "Jeepers, we're going to do you a favor, Hayden. We're gonna make you famous, and you'll probably you'll probably get swooped by some other Van Halen shows because you've been on our show. So be prepared for that."
It happens, mate. It happens. We prep you for the next shows,
Yeah. But no, seriously, guys. Seriously, it's a pleasure and a privilege to have Hayden here. I'm going to shut up soon. Honest to God, I'm going to shut up. I've got some questions. I know that Brad has. But I just have to tell you one thing before I pass it on to Brad. Hayden, I'm impressed. The fact that you're a young guy, you can tell people how old you are if you want, but the fact that you're a young guy and you're listening to the music that Brad and I have been listening to for just about all our lives is mind-blowing. It blows me away. Thank you.
Yeah, Hayden. So... I just literally 5 minutes before we come in here, I was looking at all your videos, and mate, I have to say, at your age, that's quite an achievement. And mate, we're grateful to have you on the show. And don't forget us when you're famous. All right?
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, if that's okay, Hayden. Like, when did you start? How long have you been playing for?
Well, I am 13 years old. I've been playing for 2 years.
Yep.
I've said that to a lot of people before, and they're always in shock with the videos that they show them and if they follow me. But the way that I started into the music is my dad's a professional drummer, and I'm in our studio right now. So he teaches at he's the main teacher at the BPM Drum Academy, which is on a Facebook page, and he teaches a lot of students. So my dad listens to the old music and all that, and I originally played piano, and then I went to drums because of my dad, and then I wanted to play bass. But then when my dad told me about Van Halen, and then I listened to the music, I was like, "Jeez, okay." And then it got me back into guitar, and ever since I've just loved the inspiration of Eddie. It just kept me going non-stop. My music, my guitars in the back over there, the Wolfgang and the Frank, not the Wolfgang, the Musicman and the Frankie. Are both back there. Those are my two pride and joy guitars, and yeah, just loved the music all my life. I've just been surrounded by it for a really long time, so that's how I've gotten into it. Yeah,
that's awesome, mate. That's it's always good to have influence, especially if it's from your parents or something like that in relation to music, and that's a wonderful way to get into music. But I guess at the end of the day, Andrew, we're Van Halen nuts here. And I feel like we're a small but growing community here. And Van Halen now, since Ed has passed, has become way more, let's say, people's passion for Ed is more on the surface now because he is no longer. And when you listen to Van Halen's music, Hayden, what do you get from Van Halen? What is it? Are you just listening to like Ed, what he's playing, or are you listening to the whole music, the songs? I'm interested in that because I'm a real song guy. I like to hear a good song, not just guitar parts. I love to hear a good arrangement, a good song. Are you listening from a guitarist perspective or as a, I guess I've asked you about 3 questions here in one thing. So what is it about Van Halen that you know gets your goosebumps going?
Just the thrill of their music. It's the playing, you know, David Lee Roth, Sammy, Gary, anything. It's still Van Halen to me, no matter what. Whenever I listen to, you know, for example, David Lee Roth stuff, it's the powering of different music. That's what it is. It's all about. It's not always about Ed for me. It's always about, you know, the band. Michael Anthony has great groove. You know what I mean? And with my own band that I've started, it's I tell my bass player all the time. It's all about the groove. And that, so for me, it's about how it makes me feel. It's especially about the song, like a song like Dreams. I love listening to over and over again in that. And then for like guitar stuff songs, I like listening to like 5150 or, you know what I mean? It depends, you know. So definitely, it's just the enjoyment of a different kind of rock music. That's what I love about it.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the great thing about Van Halen, Brad, especially when you look at Eddie and his career right from the word go to when he passed, he encapsulates everything, you know, that a modern, you know, rock guitarist or indeed musician would like. You know, he's got keyboards, you know, he's doing the melodies, you know, he's playing killer leads. He was involved towards the end there with throwing in a couple of lyrics as well, you know. So I think he's just about the total package. And the fact that he inspired me when I was Hayden's age, and Brad when Brad was Hayden's age, and then we've got someone, you know, today with us in 2022 being inspired by the same guy and that same music. It just, you know, I'm going to sound like a cliched ding dong here, but it's just blows me away, Brad.
That blows me away too. And I'm glad that and on this channel in particular, we love all eras of Van Halen. There's no favorite to us. And I'm really, really glad that you mentioned Gary and Sammy. Like it's Van Halen to you, no matter who's in it. So well done, mate, because you're on a good path. Is what I'm getting at. It's a great start.
Yeah, and look, I'm going to do a bit of a plug for the channel here too, bro, because we've done some ranking. Well, we've done all the albums, Hayden. I don't know if you've gone and checked out the channel. We've ranked all the Van Halen albums, and I've gone through and renegotiated some of these albums. For example, Van Halen 3, which I never really kind of took to for a long, long time, but because we ranked that, and I've spoken to a couple of guys on the show, and in particular Brad has sort of pointed me in a couple of different directions. When you go back and listen to this music again, you kind of get it. So I agree with you, Brad. You know, Gary Cherone's contribution to Van Halen and that period certainly unique.
Yeah that was the era that I saw Van Halen and you, Andrew. That was so that to me is the Ed that I got to see live, because you know, they didn't come to Australia that often, or once or twice, I think, in their whole career, which it breaks my heart that we never got to see the Sammy era of Van Halen here in Australia, or the David Lee Roth one for that matter. But we did see they came out with Wolf on bass to Sydney, and I was unfortunately missed that one. So, yeah, just that one occasion. So I'm guessing you've looked at all the YouTube stuff that you can, Hayden, and everything that you can on how to play Ed and, you know, a lot of the live footage. Do you have a particular favorite era, like live performance or anything like that? A lot of people gravitate to Live Without a Net. A lot of people gravitate to Right Here, Right Now. So is there one particular like video or DVD or something that you watch regularly and inspires you?
Yeah, well, I have a couple of the original DVDs from the semi era, and plus I had two very, very rare ones from the 80s with David Lee Roth. Because my dad had them. So per se, me, I it depends on my kind of style. If I move towards Live Without a Net and Right Here Right Now as my two favorite shows ever. It depends on what sort of style I'm liking in the particular time zone, or like the particular time of me playing guitar. If I'm interested in more of his Live Without a Net style, or like Live Without a Net, or if I like his Right Here Right Now. So I'm at both, but like if I had to choose my favorite, definitely Live Without a Net. Definitely my favorite one out of all.
Wow. Well, that's great, mate. You can't go wrong with Live Without a Net, regardless. It's such an amazing show. I think pretty much I'm still a Right Here Right Now guy, but I've watched that many bootlegs on YouTube and whatnot. I used to have a lot of the stuff that's on YouTube on DVD, the bootleg stuff, but it's circulating on YouTube, and some of the quality of the stuff that's on YouTube is better than what I've got. So that's a blessing. So you mentioned before that you've got a Frankie and you've got it. What was it? A Musicman? Was it? Did you say?
Yeah, the blue Musicman right there. I'll show you. These are my two pride and joy guitars. This is my ernieball Musicman. My dad got this secondhand from down in Melbourne. This is definitely one of my favorite guitars. Definitely dirty. I played it a lot yesterday for like 2 hours or something. But that's my Musicman, my Musicmanaxis.
Yep.
Wow.
Blue flamed. I don't know what their name is.
That's awesome, man. Love it. We love the Axis here. We're some of us aren't fortunate enough to have the real deal, so it's good to know the Axis is such a beautiful guitar. The Frankie.
Wow.
Definitely. This guitar, if you're looking for a Van Halen guitar out of all, in my opinion, I'm not saying it's the best guitar. I know Cameron Cooper said it before. This is definitely the go. It's absolutely amazing. It's definitely. I got it from everything that I've almost bought is from down in Melbourne.
Yeah.
A lot of my stuff because Melbourne just, from what my dad knows, has a lot of the best quality instruments. Or like, not just that, not quality, but like the best assortment from stuff. So I buy my stuff from Sky Music down in Melbourne. We have a not a friend of ours, but someone that hooked us up with one of these guitars before, the Frank Noma Wolfgang, and his name's Aaron. He's from Sky Music. Definitely, if you're in Melbourne or whatever, and you go to Sky Music, Aaron will help you a lot with a lot of guitars. He's definitely the man. He's helped us a lot. Me and my dad, yeah, definitely.
Oh, that's
not
good.
just for guitar stuff. My dad's drums as well.
Nice
Awesome. Contacts are important, Hayden. And if your dad's got plenty of contacts, tap into them. Hey, there's just a couple of things I want to ask you before Brad's going to. After that, Brad is going to do a bit of a shout out to the people in the chat. But you mentioned Cameron Cooper a couple of times in the green room. So just explain to us your relationship with Cameron. If people aren't aware, Cameron Cooper is an EVH legend on YouTube, a young English guy who's been doing EVH stuff, jeepers, for 5 years, maybe even longer. His channel's got 92,000 members. So tell us how you hooked up and that relationship that you have, Hayden, with him, please.
Yeah, well, Cameron Cooper is really inspired me. I've done a lot of his YouTube like tutorials that he's posted, but I reached out to him one day. I sent a video of my playing, just me soloing, and then I said I really wanted lessons off of him. And then when I heard that he could do Skype lessons, I got really excited. So I messaged him. I probably woke him up at like 12 a.m. I don't know, over in their time. I didn't, and I didn't really want him to just answer pretty quick, but he kind of did. And then he responded with a video message saying that you're playing is amazing. This is back in October or something again. And he said to me that we can get you in, I can get you in at in November or just after, because he had family stuff going on, so he wasn't able to do lessons in September, October. So and then I messaged him one day just getting an update, and then he said we can get me in. My mum and dad helped me. My mum was got the all the stuff to be able to get the lessons like PayPal and that, and then I had my first lesson with him. It was amazing. It's amazing, that I don't get all my Van Halen stuff off him. He's also teaching me Steve Vai now and a bit of cherone stuff, so which is definitely helping me play a lot more with different styles.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, well, it's pretty overwhelming to think that you're 13 years of age, mate, and you can play the way you do. So whatever you're doing is really working. So continue, because by the time you're out there, obviously with the pandemic and stuff like that, obviously it's a bit hard to get together with musos and jam and things like that. But have you had the opportunity in the last year or two to collaborate with anyone and jam, or is it just pretty much your dad?
Not at all. I did want to go and see my one of my dad's old band members, Shane, down in his name's Shane. He's down in Canberra, and he was usually my first guitar teacher when I was like 6, but I didn't pan out because we moved down to Canberra. So what happened was I went to I wanted to go down to his get maybe a lesson off him, and my dad wanted to go and see him back in probably 2020, just before COVID hit. And then so the only really person that I've ever really collaborated with was just my dad, really, and that's really all. I haven't had any opportunity to do it with anyone else. I want to.
There's plenty of time ahead, I'm sure, mate. Before you know it, you'll be collaborating with people and you'll be killing it. So well done, mate. Look, at the moment, I want to do a bit of a shout out to everyone. Sorry, Hayden, it's a good opportunity right now. Got a few people in the chat. So where are we? So I've got Chris. We've got Chris Wilton. We've got Ellen, my mother. We've got Nelson. We've got John ZD351. Good to see you, brother. We've got Gretz Zeppelin. Some rap bag called the 5150 Show. We've also got Wolfgang 5150. We've got Wolfgang 5150. Nelson, I think I said Nelson. Who else have we got here? I can't see anyone else. I'm sorry, guys. I can't. If I haven't said hello to you, but Helen O'Hara. We've got Helen in the chat as well. So if I've missed you guys, I'm sorry, but continue to pump in your comments there and give Hayden a shout out as well, and follow him on Instagram.
Yeah, awesome. I'll put Hayden's social media accounts up, and we'll put it permanently on the banner that runs on the bottom there. That's the least we can do. But I want to do a special shout out to Wolfgang 5150 in the chat. He's a Japanese dude who we've hooked up with, and he's this guy who just is a crazy Van Halen nut from Japan. And all he does, Brad and Hayden, he's like everybody else that we know, just lives and breathes EVH. So I think his English is pretty good. So we might, Brad, on the off week, we might get him on a show and check him out and see what these Japanese Van Halen nuts are doing over there. But look, Brad already asked you, Hayden, if you had a live era when it came to Van Halen. I suppose one of the great things we like as Van Halen fans is, do you have a favorite record? And Brad always manages to get out of that question by saying, well, at the moment, my favorite album is the one I'm listening to at the moment, but it's not my all-time favorite. So for me, Hayden, it's either Balance or Carnal Knowledge. I just love that era, love that tone, Hayden, and I can talk about those albums for hours. Do you have an album that you think is the bee's knees?
It's a tough one, because probably have to be. I'll do one from the semi era and the David Lee Roth era.
Cool.
The semi era, I have two favorites, and that's 5150 and For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge. Then from the David Lee Roth era, and this is what I think is probably his best, in my opinion, is one of my favorite tones from that era, and tones that's really good is Fair Warning. It's definitely one of my favorites. And 1978 production, and those are my four favorite albums. But my favorite album of all time has to be 5150.
No argument there. No argument there. It's a great album. It's a great. There's no duds on that album.
Definitely no duds, that's for sure. But well, that's cool. I mean, mine changes a fair bit. If I was to say my favorite David Lee Roth album at the moment is 1984, and at the moment, well, for Unlawful Carnal Knowledge is my favorite Sammy one, and then Balance. So those albums are fantastic. But I mean, obviously, all of them. Fair Warning, that's such an amazing album. Vanhalen 2, I recently listened to that, and I was, just blown away by it again. So I think you just keep. It's like it keeps churning. You listen to something and it blows you away. It's fantastic. But So what gear are you using amp wise? Have you got what are you using to run your beautiful guitars through? We got a freeze there, Andrew.
Oh, sorry there. I just lost you. What was the question? Sorry.
Oh, I just want to know what gear you're running your beautiful guitars through. What have you got amps? What are you using?
Just give me a minute. Just give it a minute to load. The internet's terrible.
It's all right. Just if you what gear you're using? Are you using amps, pedals?
Yeah, we all know what it's like having bad internet access, Hayden.
Yeah.
We've all been there, brother.
Oh yeah.
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 Oh man. Yeah, sorry about that.
That's all right. That's all right.
Anyway, I'm back now. I can hear you guys.
Cool.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, all good.
Yeah, just want to know what gear you're using. Are you using amps and stuff, or are you using plugins, or what are you using to get the tone?
Well, I have my EVH5150 Stealth 50-watt head, which is crazy loud, but it's amazing. I have it almost at half of volume with no attenuizer in. I can have it at half volume and attenuizer in that very room right there. I have a bunch of assortments of pedals. I have even type micro pitch, I think that's how you say it.
Yeah.
Even type micro pitch. And I also have the Crybaby. The EVH Crybaby, the phaser. I want to get the flanger, the NMXR reverb, Echoplex delay, and chromatic tuner and a looper. That's just my sort of style of stuff that I like to use, but I definitely plan to get a lot more gear in the future. Definitely.
Wow, that's amazing. You've got some gear there, brother. I have to commend you on the gear. I've just put an order in for the iconic 5150 80-watt head. That's due in this country in about 4 months' time. So I'm looking forward to getting that. But that stealth head, Brad, jeepers, I've played those through our local rock shop, and my gosh, that's a monster head.
Yeah, I've had the pleasure of playing through one as well. It's you want that big overdriven tone. There's a lot of saturation in the sound. It's great.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm going to send you,
I definitely
Hayden.
love my tone that I have now. I'm definitely going to be putting.
Also, I'm sorry if I interrupted you. I'm sorry. The delay is probably going to be
No,
a bit of an
good.
issue. But I'm going to send you
Good.
when I get back to work. I'm going to send you, because every good EVH fan needs a 5150 show pick. So I'll be sending you one of those, and a few of those, Brad, I'll be sending your way too, for you to disperse to some people.
Yes, I'll be looking forward to having one for myself though, Andrew. I'm gonna keep it for myself as a little souvenir, and gotta keep one for myself. But yeah, definitely.
I got a bag of them there, bro. So
a little dilly bag full of them.
yeah. Well, I'm going to send a couple to the States, but any reason, Hayden, why you went with that stealth head? Because obviously that's a head that's going to do everything. That amp is going to do everything forever, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, we originally wanted to go with the 5150 6L6, which is the white one, the ivory. And also the EL34. So I listened to the different tones and that, and the reason why I went with the stealth was because, well, first of all, I found a very big difference in the 5150 6L6 ivory, and that when I listened to tones on YouTube, but I haven't actually played through both of them. But I've played through a JCM 2000 before, and well, I didn't own it. It was my uncle's, my dad's uncle's, and so I've played through one of them before, and the process sound through the like the way that just works, I preferred it a lot more. Plus the ivory and the 6L6s weren't getting back in stock until this year sometime. I don't know when, a pretty long time, but I like the stealth anyway, more than those amps anyway. So there was one reason, because I needed a new amp and we couldn't get one a 6L6 ivory in, and that one was just we didn't see that they had it in, so that's why we got it. There was really per se, there wasn't really, if I have to explain this properly, there was really like no sort of reason. I didn't really find a big difference, but definitely when I listen to it, when I compare them now, I do now hear a very big difference. Yeah, so there wasn't really any particular reason. It was just that I liked it. It's simple, just liked it a bit more. Also.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned something about the demand of EVHgear at the moment has just taken off so much. So it's so difficult to get your hands on anything with the EVH brand. If I wanted to pick myself up a Frankie, for example, there's a waiting list, and there's no actual ETA at the moment on when they're arriving here in Australia. If they don't have it in stock, which most places don't, because I did a little bit of investigating just for a particular reason. I'm not going to say too much, but I had a look, and it doesn't look like I can get a Frankie unless I pre-order, and there's no ETA on when they're coming. So, yeah, it's a bit disappointing. And I would say it's really just, since Ed passed, it's just taken off. Like all the gear is just so hard to get your hands on. So,
yeah, you've hit the nail on the head there, Brad. I think the situation with this global thing too, it's put supply chains out of whack as well too. So a lot of the situation would be maybe not necessarily getting what you want, but maybe getting the second or third thing. So yeah. I can't see it getting better anytime soon, if that makes any sense. But Brad, I've got to tell you, I'm impressed that Hayden actually went and played these amps. So he actually listened to them himself too. So that was a good thing, because at the end of the day, a lot of guys are buying stuff on YouTube video references, And that's okay, because we all go and check out YouTube videos if we're thinking about buying something, hearing what someone has to say. That's really important. Not necessarily the maker's channel, but maybe someone like Shane from In the Blues, maybe, who might be a little bit impartial to something. Or Cameron Cooper, who's always been impartial. He's been an advocate for the Yamaha THR amps for a long, long time. In fact, he's probably responsible for selling selling pallets or container loads of that amp. But look, at the end of the day, and you've always said it too, Brad, go and check these Marshalls out. If you want to buy a Marshall, go and check them out. Don't buy an amp if you've got the chance anyway. Go and check them, plug your guitar in and play them. And the fact that Hayden did that's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. I mean, that's the thing. We are blessed with YouTube demos, so you can have a quick listen to what. But I never, ever listen to them and take them as that's how it sounds, because sometimes you get in the room and you're hearing the speakers, you're hearing everything. Where on YouTube, sometimes it's through an aux box or something like that, which is, they're not bad things, but they don't give you the true presentation of all the resonance from the speaker and everything like that. So, So what Hayden's done trying them is something that, I try and encourage a lot of people, because a lot of people ask me, oh, have you checked out this? I'm going to go buy one. And I'm like, all right, go play it first, go play it, because I think it's better your ears, what you want to hear, as opposed to what's advertised on YouTube, for example, or on the internet, can be quite different. But I think we've got a few more people I want to mention in the chat, Andrew. I don't know. We've got Fast Eddie EVH or Fast Eddie Van Halen. We've got Steve-O. Thanks for joining, Steve-O. And Fruitcake Tony. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, brother. Nice to see you. So Fruitcake Tony and the guys that have joined us, we've got a young cat from Australia, Hayden, joining us. He's just talking about Van Halen. I'll put his Instagram account up for you guys to go and check it out if you haven't already. He's a young, hot guitarist, and like all of us here on the 5150 show, just thinks Van Halen is the bee's knees. And I got to tell you, Brad, I'm just blown away that, there is hope. There is hope in the young generation that this good music is going to continue. When a guy like Hayden, for example, is considering, is in a band playing music inspired by Van Halen, it's amazing.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, no, we need young talent. So keep going, Hayden. Don't stop, buddy. And Hayden, have you had a chance to check out our other co-host, Simon Hosford? Have you checked out his YouTube channel and checked out anything he's playing?
I just think, yes, I have. Yeah, I think I have. Yes, I think I have. Yes.
Yeah.
If I hadn't, I'll check him out.
So yeah, he's another
if I remember.
Yeah, he's another Van Halen nut, and he's quite remarkable the way he plays Van Halen, obviously because he loves Van Halen like we all do. But I think it's there's something quite unique about our Hoss, and if you do get a chance to go check out his YouTube channel, Melbourne Guitar Show, they played all of Van Halen 1 back to back, like the album order, and it's quite an amazing show. You have to watch it. I was there at the time when he played, and he's got a couple of shows coming up. The one he's advertising at the moment is the Corner Hotel. So I'd like to give a bit of a shout out to Hoss's show at the Corner Hotel. We'll be advertising it on our channel as it gets closer. It's been rescheduled a few times on the poor guy, so we're praying that it stays and goes through. But he's got some really good promo. If you watch our last 5150 show, he gave us a premiere of all the promotional gear he's got, which is he's going to be running 3 heads, Hayden. So he's going to be doing the wet, dry, wet thing at the gig. So we're going to be doing a a deep dive on that once we get the chance on his gear and how he's going to play and all the rest of it. But yeah, check out our host Simon Hosford. Shouts out to Simon.
Yeah, awesome. There might be an opportunity for Hayden and maybe his dad to cruise. Where are you based, Hayden, in Australia? New South Wales, is that correct?
Yeah, New South Wales.
Yeah. So there might be an opportunity for maybe you and your dad to cruise down to Melbourne and check the gig out. It's Brad, Good Friday. Good Friday, is it?
I think it is. Yeah, I'm just not sure with age restrictions if 13-year-olds can get in. That's all.
Hayden's dad can get in, and Hayden can sit outside.
Yeah, well, and he can put his ear up to the back door and listen. Maybe at a sound check or something like that. But you'd have to. I don't want to promise that. You'd have to check that by house.
Yeah. Hayden, so do you have any aspirations as far as guitar playing goes? Centered around Van Halen. Do you want to get to a situation where you're playing everything as best as you can? The attention to detail, is that something that you want to do as a guitar player? Or getting into a band inspired by Van Halen, or forming a band, producing your own music? Is that something that you'd like to pursue?
Gotta love the time lapse.
I think I've lost you again.
That's okay, mate. That's all right.
This is like a flashback for me, Andrew, when I started coming on the show and all my internet was so slow. Remember?
Yeah. It's a situation that does happen now and again.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, get you back.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, what was the question?
Awesome. It's okay. So that's fine, Hayden. Take your time. It's all cool. Hey, so do you have any aspirations as far as your music goes? Are you interested in forming a band and producing or performing Van Halen music, or do you want to do your own personal inspired music, something like Brad's done recently? Is that something you've got planned?
Yeah, definitely. I'm only young. I've just been, trying to learn what I can learn. But
cool.
My number one goal is to have my own band and be successful and write my own music. But if that doesn't turn out, to be a session guitarist. To be a session guitarist. But right now, I'm not per se really worrying about it as much. I'm just trying to learn everything that I can. But definitely, if I was to plan, definitely either session guitarist or to write my own music.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, take your time, mate. There's no rush. Age is just a number, so just do what I'm not going to try and give you advice, but just go with what feels right. In your with your gut instinct. That's all I can say. Join a few bands, do what you do, and when the right time's right, you'll do your thing. So just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Helen's in the chat here, and she's saying that you should call your cover band Eddie Van Hayden. That's pretty cool. I think top marks for Helen for that. So your first bit of free advice from the chat there, brother.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's cool. I've had that idea before. My grandfather made me a rock for my for Christmas, and it was he painted it himself with the stripes, the Frankie stripes, and he gave it to me on Christmas. And then on the back it said Van Hayden rocks.
Wow,
that's awesome.
That's what people think of it.
Yeah. You need to take a photo of that and put that on your Instagram account, mate. I think that's going to be really cool. But look, I think Brad's right. Do what you feel and think naturally is always the good place to start. The fact that you've got a dad that's got some experience there in the industry as well. Brad, I'm sure you would have had people like that too when you were getting into doing some session work and touring, that could give you a bit of advice and nurture you and help you, because at the end of the day, if you can get some kind of mentoring, that's always going to be a good thing.
Yeah. It's always good to have, people that have done it for years, take their advice, do with it what you want, but, do your own, just follow your own path. And I'm sure, you're already on the path, mate. You don't need us to tell you what to do. You're already there. You're just doing it. So continue and, continue to share, build your social profile as well. And, that's all you can do these days at the moment anyway. Just keep doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. Oh, sorry, Hayden. I cut you off there. Sorry, brother.
Yeah.
I was just saying. Yeah, thanks. That's good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because Hoss was talking about it a little bit last 5150 show, Hayden. He was saying that there's a lot of young guys out there, because of what's been happening lately, who have only ever played by themselves. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. That's just the result of the situation that we're in. So taking for granted, Brad, the fact that you and I over the years could get together with a bass player and a drummer somewhere, or and play, isn't always the situation that a lot of young guys and girls can have today. So falling into a situation where they have to, because it's all about maintaining some kind of personal stability, and playing music is central to who we are as people. So if you can't do that in a group or a gig situation, what's the next best step? You're going to be doing it at home in a studio and putting it out on Instagram. So that's one of the great things, Hayden, that I love about the situation that's happened lately. A lot of young people, a lot of old farts too, have got out there onto social medias, and wow.
Easy up on the old farts there, Andrew.
Yeah.
Yeah, age is a number. That's all it is. That's all it is these days. But yeah. So with your playing, Hayden, when you listen to Ed, are you listening to his technical ability or his feel? Like, I always find a lot of guitar players just focus on his technical ability and never the feel. And you see a lot of players, replicating what they like, say Ed, where they're sort of trying to play Ed's songs or his solos. Is it something that you focus on, like the feel? There's something that I think a lot of players that can play Van Halen overlook, because Ed had something quite unique.
Yeah, when I was playing yesterday, I went out at 6:30 or whatever, and I was playing, and I was standing up as what I would usually do when I'm playing my guitar. I was standing up, and I was just playing stuff that I would like, but putting it in Eddie's style. So I can focus on the technical ability, but I mainly focus on his feel. That's what I've just learned, is that it's not always about how fast you play. It's about how you because I can bend a note that you can bend a note that people might actually really love that particular thing that you just do. So it's more about the feel for me from Eddie.
Yeah, that's good, because I think that's one thing that the overall, the feel, everything that Ed does. I've seen 1,000,001 players playing Eruption on Instagram or YouTube and stuff like that, but a lot of them are missing that cheeky feel that he had. And I think obviously that's something that can't be replicated at times, because it was Ed Van Halen, it was his hands, it was his mind. But something that I think that really needs to be focused on with Ed's playing is his feel, not just necessarily what he's playing. His feel was something that, for me, like songs like, the song Feeling Off Balance, for example, the guitar playing on that, man, there's so much emotion in his playing, not enough off balance. That it's almost like he's not even trying to play technically. He's actually playing just to capture the vibe of the song. So that's something that I try and do when I play guitar, is focus on the actual emotion of the song, not necessarily worrying about the technical ability. Many years ago, I used to focus more on technical ability, and I think I've kind of let that go and focus more on feel. So I think that's something that for any guitarist, I'd sort of mention that to anyone that's up and coming and playing. But for the short time you've been playing, Hayden, it's quite remarkable. You've got an amazing feel and playing already. So you're a natural, mate. So well done.
Yeah, I love it. I love just playing, just you know.
Yeah. Well, what is something that you do when you start off? Do you warm up? Do you practice, or do you just dive straight in and start playing Van Halen stuff? Like, do you find you need to warm up to it every time you pick up the guitar?
Usually, well, when I go in, it's whenever I'm usually playing, it's always for me is always warming up, just playing just songs no matter what. What I love to do is I love to like do stretching out my fingers, and then what I like to do is I like to turn up my volume, put it on the blue channel, red channel, whatever, dive straight down, do like on the E string, and then come back up on the harmonic on the 12th fret on the E string, on the low E string, and then I just go straight in the mean streets. So that's what I usually do. I do that a lot. I love it. Going from eruption then to main streets instead of the actual intro to main streets.
Oh wow!
How to do that.
Sounds great, man.
Yeah.
Well, on your on any of your guitars, have you got one of the D tuners?
Yeah, the Frankie has a D tuner. My musicman yet is to have a D tuner. My Epiphone Les Paul can't have a D tuner, and my Wolfgang needs to be fixed. So, yeah. So right now, those two, only one of my guitars has a D tuner, which is sad. Yeah. I want to get a D tuner for my musicman, which I'm going to do.
Yeah, the D tuner is really cool. It's just fun to be able to drop it down and start doing things in that D tuning, like off the cuff straight away, like Unchained and whatnot. I love that D tuner. Now that I've sort of got it in a place where it works for me, it's it's awesome. It's awesome. Andrew, your guitars have got D tuners on them, don't they?
Yeah. My musicman does not have a D tuner. I put my D. Hold on. No, my musicman does not have a D tuner, but I did put a D tuner last year myself on my 5150, and piece of cake. It was a piece of cake doing it. It was just had one cup of coffee, sat down, made sure I had plenty of light, and but can I show you guys something? Hold on, I'll show you guys something.
Please. We're anticipating something amazing here, Hayden. Come on, the suspense is killing us, Andrew. Come on. Oh, he's got something new.
No, it's not mine. It's a friend of mine's. It's Duff's bass. Hold on, I'll just present myself.
It's like a precision bass with active pickups, yeah?
Yeah. So that's it there. But I broke the bloody strings on it, so I'll have to go and get some strings tomorrow for it and restring it. Don't ask me how I broke the string. It's embarrassing. Yep. But what's really interesting, because you were talking about D tuners, but what's really interesting here is that this here has the what they call the hip shot. Yeah. So you tune it to E and then just flip that down, Brad, and it just drops down to D. Drop D straight away. Pretty cool. Awesome.
Yeah,
I've never seen it before.
Yeah. I've played jazzes with the drop D on them before, and that particular guitar I was actually looking at buying one of those a couple of years ago, but I never went through with the sale. The Duff bass, yeah. It's like an active pickup, isn't it?
Yeah. So, man, I've just got a rumble here. I love it. So it's pretty cool. So it's got like the Gibson kind of toggle switch there. So you got your front pickup, your back pickup, P or your jazz. In the middle's both. There's your tone and your volume, and there has got the TBX on there, which is fantastic. I love it. But I'm going to tell you guys, I'm not giving this back. I'm not going to give it back to my friend.
Keep it.
He's not getting it back.
Yeah. No, you should keep it. Keep it. Don't give it back, Andrew.
Don't give it back. Just say it needs work. I'm going to repair it myself and keep it.
Yeah. So I broke the string. One of the things that you have to remember with basses is on. Here, I'll show you guys. So it's a bit clearer on this one here. So whatever this thing here is, that the
String tree.
String tree. That's what it's called, the string tree. So when you've got those two top strings going through there, when you're tuning it E flat and you're going back and forward in the tunings, what actually happens is that they can wear that out, and then if you do that too often, Brad, it can blow the string out, and that's what happened yesterday. Yeah, it was E flat, and then I tuned it up, and then tuned it down, and tuned it up, and when I was tuning it, bang, snapped.
That's what happens. That's what happens, especially if the strings are a little bit on the older side. You know, going back and forth between tunings is not good with bass strings.
No. You're right. And bass players, apparently, I've spoken to a couple of real bass players, and they said that's why you have different basses, Andrew. You have one that's set up E flat, and you have one set up standard. Okay.
Yeah. Or you just play everything in the same tuning, up or down, doesn't matter. Just play it. Yeah. Well, Hayden, like Andrew's got a musicmanaxis as well, so have I. So we're Axis buddies.
The Axis is a good guitar.
Yeah. Oh, look! The Axis is a great guitar. And have you seen the? Oh man, I should have had some photos. Maybe we should do something when we do the next 5150 show. But the new Axis range that's out is fantastic. But jeepers, the prices of that stuff's gone up, man. Wow.
Ooh, the double trouble. I've seen the Family Reserve double troubles down at Sky Music. This is like a really, really sort of like, I don't know how you say the color, like a really weird color, like not orange, yellow, but like a lot more like TV yellow style thing. And I personally don't like it, but I think a lot of people would like it. And it's $8,000. It's a lot of money. The only thing that's really different is it has the same color on the back and the front.
Yeah.
I think that's the only thing that's really different to the old series, which is crazy.
So when you bought your Musicman, Hayden, did you buy that after Eddie passed away or before?
The Frankie and the Wolf and my Wolfgang are labeled 2020. But my Musicman is 2019, but I bought that this year in winter or something around in the COVID in lockdown. So that I bought that basically after he passed away. So
before they're going up.
Yeah, they are really going up. But that one was crazy good at secondhand. Like it was if you ever want to look for a musicmanaxis, just like you got to keep on looking. Just find ones that are not necessarily the original signatures, because they're like I don't know, $15,000 or whatever for like a gold original or whatever, and but definitely if you want like an Axis, I think that's the 2019. It doesn't matter what color, they're really great. They're really great guitars. And I didn't buy it. My dad didn't buy it because it was Eddie Van Halen, because it was a USA made guitar, and he knows they're great because he's one of his old mates, which is a Van Halen, which used to be said it was great, so he knows. So that's why I have one.
Yeah.
Very lucky. Very lucky.
Yeah. The Axis guitars are great guitars. I look, I agree with you, and what Brad was saying too. You got to keep looking, and like I was lucky. I'll tell you my story when I got my one. I got my one because a guy listed it on Trade Me here in New Zealand, which is like your gum tree there, but he didn't label or list it properly. He just had it under electric guitar, and he had Musicman, not in one word, and $1,500. Anyway, cut a long story short, I got it for that. But if he'd put in all the different keywords like Music Man together with one word, Ernieball, and maybe Van Halen or EVH, it would have gone for twice that price here.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Well, I was, and Andrew, as you know, with mine, I got a really good deal. The guy was selling it. I haggled, as you do, and he stuck with his price. And I said if I was to pick it up tonight, which was very late when I saw it, would I? And I brought in cash. Would he come down in price? And he said yes. So I piled up my son, who's basically about your age, Hayden, and we went across late at night. So he was up on a school night pretty late, and I managed to pick up mine. Mine's a 2009 Axis, and it hardly been played. I think it lived under a bed for years. So he was just getting rid of it. He knew what he had. But he knew me from the show, and he said, "Look, I'm happy to do a deal with you." So I was quite grateful, and obviously getting that guitar was something that back in the day when Carnal Knowledge came out, I opted to get a Les Paul over the EVH Musicman just because it was more my style, and I regretted never picking one up when I had the opportunity. I had an amber one that I could have grabbed, and I went with the Les Paul instead, which is more my thing anyway. But I always wish I had that EVH one, and then when Ed passed, I regretted it. So in March last year, I picked up the Axis, which is this one here.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
Yeah, beautiful.
Absolutely beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful guitar. If you guys haven't seen Brad's Instagram account, go back and have a look on some of his stories there where he's photographed that like it's just the greatest thing since sliced bread. And he's actually playing it on a few clips as well. But Hayden, look, I've got to give you some good advice. Don't sell that Musicman, and don't sell your Frankie. Don't sell them. Don't because that Frankie, if that's the first generation Frankies, don't sell them, especially those two guitars, because they are just going to go skyrocketing in value.
Go up. Yeah, especially if they discontinue them, because the Frankie only came out in 2020. So if I bought mine, must have been and I bought it in last year, obviously. So it's labeled 2020 and everything. So I'm not going to sell the Musicman because my dad bought them. So per se it's his money guitar. So if I was going to sell them, he just should give them to me. So I'm not allowed to sell them at all. I'm not allowed to sell any of the gear. Even if I don't want to, I don't want to sell it that way. I don't want to sell my Oberheim. That's my Oberheim OBXA. Well, it's not mine. It's my dad's. So I don't know what I'm saying. It's mine, but that's rare. That's gone up a lot after Eddie passed away as well. I'm surprised at how much it's worth. As much as I don't want to sell it, with like a lot of old gear, especially old keyboards and synthesizers, is that they from like the 80s is that they keep on breaking down. So
I did not know that.
So they or doesn't turn on.
So those keyboards have gone up too because of Van Halen nuts wanting them. Wow.
Well, well, per se, they've gone up because they're vintage and they're one of the rarest synths in the world, and one of the rarest synths in the world. Plus, they're some of the best sounding synths that people say that some of the best sounding synths ever in their opinions. But because it was played on jump and that, so that's that's why it's pretty much gone up to from 15 grand to 20 grand. Some of the like an OBXX has gone up to 33 grand, and it's crazy. But so I wish I could play it because I want to play that so bad before we have to sell it because there's no more parts and that. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, well, that's amazing. The you know, obviously the price of stuff's always going to go up. You know, it's the same thing with the Frankies. When they first came here, the first shipment arrived, they were $3,000. Now they're $3,500 New Zealand for a Frankie, and it doesn't come with a hard case. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money for a guitar.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. The EVH stuff, anything related to Van Halen is going to go up in price ridiculously over the years now. We're seeing it already, so you know it's quite remarkable. Quite remarkable. Yeah, don't sell your stuff, mate, including your amps. Don't sell them. Don't sell your amps. You know, you're better off hanging on to your
keep on to it. Yeah.
How long have you had your amp
company? Oh. I don't actually remember. It was last year in COVID. It was still. So basically, a lot of my gear came from last year's COVID. So that lockdown that went for I don't know 17, not 17 months, but that long lockdown. That's when I bought that and most of my pedals. Plus, I think those good for 2 guitars.
Wow.
If I recall the Frankie before the lockdown. So. But the way that it works is that my dad sells his old PA gear because he's a sound engineer. So we used to do sound for like people like I forgot the name, Kenny Arnoff, the drummer.
Yep.
If you guys have ever heard of Kenny Arnoff, my dad has signed. Sure. I think it's Kenny Arnoff. It's a signed drum head saying Troy Rock. I think it's Kenny Arnoff. So my dad sells gear to buy me new gear. So it always is like a replenishing cycle. The music stuff that he sells never goes to anything else. It goes straight back to musical gear. So it can keep on. So it's which is what I'm going to do. So if I have like old gear that I don't use, not like any of my EVH stuff or anything like for example like an old pedal or something that I don't use anymore, like an old other amp that like a practice amp or something, you go sell it to buy something new, whatever like that. Like that sort of stuff.
And that's perfect because that's exactly what Brad's done over the years. And if you're not going to use something, if you know that you don't want it, sell it, get rid of it, and buy something that you might want. There's one thing to keep something or keep some gear, but what's the use in being a hoarder? That's my own opinion. Yeah. I'd rather flick some. I got rid of about 2 years ago about 15, 20 pedals because I just, and I know that some guys that I've spoken to, Brad and Hayden, have said, what, why would you do? And I'm going, well, I don't use them.
That's true. If you're not using them, there's two flips of the coin here. Hang on to stuff that you know is going to be worse stuff. If there's stuff you bought because you think it's going to be good for you and it doesn't work, sell it and buy something that will work for you. 100%.
Yeah. Well, I sold my pedals to help fund my aux box, and it's interesting because Brad mentioned the fact before that he heard some of the demos with aux boxes and how it attenuates and drops the sound down. One of the great thing about an aux box too is because it has all these different cabinets and different programs, so you can adjust things. So I didn't feel the need or the desire to have pedals. Because I was just going to use my amp with the aux box. But the aux box also gives you an ability to hear a lot of things that you wouldn't hear normally because your amp is cranked. So you can hear a lot of the treble and the bass on my blues breaker, for example, Brad. I can hear them distinctly now when I play them through my aux box. So that was my reasoning. So I thought, okay, well, I'm not using these pedals, but I know that I would use an aux more. So,
well, the aux box is amazing, and I think it's almost imperative when you're in a recording studio to be able to do that because it is especially with my little studio. It's great to be able to do things that are without pushing a speaker box to get the volume you want. But my only downside to that is a lot of people do their demos with those aux boxes and whatever the other type of speaker emulations they are. And as much as they're load boxes and that, they don't give a true representation of the tone for me. So like they're great for recording and they pick up that, but there's nothing like playing an amp to me that's hearing that speaker box. What would you say to that, Hayden? I mean, you know full well when you're standing in front of your EVH5150 there. It's got volume, it's got resonance. You know, your pant legs sort of flap in the breeze because of the speakers going. You don't get that from a speaker emulation.
Yeah, I definitely think that. Well, I know a lot of people love their electrical amp, like their electric amps, and there's nothing wrong with electric amps. But one of my mates bought an electrical amp and said if a 25-watt amp, it said if it can power up to my 50-watt, and he said, oh, it might work, it might be louder, and I said, mine's valve amp is a lot more powerful than electrical amp. So I just love the valve amp feel, just like the breeze, arm hairs move and that. Even Eddie said it. He needs 5150 tool, so that's why he plays instead of like if in this situation I don't play out here, I play in there because I just like it a lot more. I love the sound. I just love the feel of the speaker and that, and the valve power. It's amazing. I'm lucky to be able to enjoy something like that.
Awesome.
We've
got a couple of guys in the chat here, Hayden. They want to say hello to you. We've got Johnny Bean and some of the guys that have been watching his show saying hi. We've got Jay 7/8 in the chat saying hi, and Johnny Heartbreaker and Leo. So I'll put your Instagram account up so these guys can check you out.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, well, it's good to see everyone here, and this has been really fun. And 13 years of age, mate, well done. Playing the way you are and influenced by it, it's such a refreshing thing to see.
Yeah, I love it. It's definitely something that a lot of people don't really get to, enjoy. But I'm very lucky to have what I have. I'm very grateful for what my parents have done, and what and like for me coming on the show today and that. So I'm very grateful for everything. Definitely.
I tell you what, they will be very happy to hear you say that. Very, very happy to hear you say that because obviously they can see the talent in you, and obviously the music runs through the family with your dad being involved in the industry, being a drummer, being involved in lighting and, setting up gigs and rigs and all that. That's filtered down through to you. That's where our music legacy begins. We do a lot of ranking album tracks on this channel too, Hayden, and a lot of guys that I've met over the years and family members were responsible for turning me on to albums. For example, tomorrow we're doing Led Zeppelin 1, and I wish I could say that I fell across that album myself, but a guy called Garth Bromfield said, man, you need to check this album out, whatever you do. So that guy was responsible for taking me from point A to point B in the space of 1 hour.
Yeah. So Hayden, we know you love Van Halen. What other bands are you into? What are other things that blow your hair back?
Good question. I was going to ask that one. Good one.
I don't know how many records. There's records over there. There's records up there. There's records over that wall. I have, Led Zeppelin, Kiss, Guns N' Roses. I probably, it's more like I could think of them, but then I don't. There's so many out there that I just know of that I just never can kind of think to the top of my head. I just, I love what do you call it? What his name? Stevie Ray Vaughan. Definitely, I really love a lot of his stuff. And when I watched when you were, I don't know what it was, ranking albums, and you had like different rounds, I definitely thought that Stevie Ray Vaughan's album would definitely be up there for me as well. I really like his his playing and that. Definitely one of my other favorite guitar players for blues and that, and I love all of that. But in terms of Kiss was kind of the first band that actually got me into the music.
Wow. Okay.
And there's a reason why. So do you guys know that? So Paul Stanley has a disability called microtia, which is a circumference of the ear. I had the exact same thing on my left side.
Oh.
So I was born with only one ear. Right. So I the reason why I was inspired to play music more than anything when I was young was not only just my dad, but because Paul Stanley had the same disability as me, but can play music. So that's why I wanted to do it more, because I found out that he had the same disability as me, and I love the band Kiss. So yeah, wow. So that's how I really got into the music. So yeah, it's an amazing story that I love to tell. So yeah, so that's how I really started. It doesn't really disadvantage me from everything. He said I can face my amp this way and I can't hear anything. So but yeah, but this if the Joe Satriani Flying in a Blue Dream.
Yeah.
Blue Dream. Yeah, I love this. This is a vintage album. I don't know if it's original, but that's an album that was just sitting here that I wanted to show off.
That's unreal. Amazing. That's a great album.
Yeah, it is definitely. I don't know what year it came out, 90s or 2000. I don't know, but yeah, there's the Eagles, Foreigner, Pink Floyd, Toto, Bon Jovi,
all the
Dire
good
Straits,
stuff.
Yeah, Billy Joel, Springsteen, Buddy Rich, Van Halen, and Led Zeppelin, and there's a lot more. Well, Def Leppard is definitely one of my favorite. My favorite bands, The Crew. I can go on for days about just naming bands. To be honest, there's just too many bands to name of. Definitely love listening to like Stevie Wonder. What's it called? NXS. Michael Jackson. Ice House. Foreigner, I just said. Starship. Huey Lewis. Phil Collins. Don Henley. Glenn Fry. Kenny Loggins. David Bowie, Mike and the Machine, I don't know what it was. The song called "Underneath the Radar" by Underworld. I think that was I think it was a wonder. AC/DC I definitely love a lot of Angus Young stuff. Guns N' Roses, as I already said. Toto is my dad's favorite drummer is Jeff Beccaro.
Yes,
and John Bonham. So Led Zeppelin. Everything. Aerosmith, Poison, Man at Work, which is an Australian band. Jimmy Barnes. I'm just going through my my playlist on Spotify and just looking at all the songs that are on this album. Queen, Kiss, Dave Wackel. If you guys know the drummer Dave Wackel, the Dave Wackel band is one of my dad's. The Doobie Brothers.
Yep.
Stevie Nicks. And I could go on for days, but I'm just going to stop right there. There's so much there, and there's too many albums that I can name of. Music, an old tape from Eric Singer from Kiss, the drummer. That's an old vintage tape that my dad has for drumming. So,
wow.
And there's too many Deep Purple as well. It's definitely a good band. Me and that. Is it Iron Maiden in that? So yeah, definitely Gary Moore. Yeah, love his blues stuff. I can't play his stuff.
Definitely an old soul. Helen in the chat line, definitely an old soul, and we know exactly what she means when she says that, because everything that you've listed there, Hayden, is just fantastic, and that's great music. That's called classic rock in the true sense of the word classic, isn't it, Brad?
Yeah, mate, I'm blown away that you're into all that music. That's great. You can't go wrong with all those bands that you've mentioned, mate. And I'm sure as you evolve into becoming a professional musician, and I'm sure you will, you'll still go back to all these bands you've mentioned, 100%.
Yeah.
Jay's a Iron Maiden fan, and he's blown away that you've mentioned Iron Maiden, because again, this was stuff that we were listening to. I wasn't much older than you, Hayden, when we were listening to Killers and Number of the Beast, and when Def Leppard's album came out, High and Dry, just earth-shattering moments.
100%. 100%. Well, mate, I have to say, for a 13-year-old kid, you're a grown-up young man, mate. So well done. And it's been great to communicate with you and connect with you this way.
Awesome. I appreciate it. Thank you, Hayden, for jumping on. Keep in touch with the show. You are always welcome to join us on any show that you want. And through the year, Brad and I and Hoss, we're going to do some roundtable shows where we get people on and off, for different reasons, for different events. So we'll get you on, and you can talk EVH in the future. Do you have a YouTube channel, Hayden?
No, I don't. Just my Instagram for now.
Okay, all right. Well, what I'll do, guys, is I will attach Hayden's Instagram account to this show.
Yep.
And I will attach your Instagram account too, so that's streaming on the bottom there. That's the least we can do. Go and check out Hayden's Instagram account and see what he's doing. You guys will be pleasantly blown away. I'm grateful that Brad, the co-host of the 5150, at short notice managed to jump on and hang out and spend some time with you, Hayden. I'm going to say one thing. I'm going to pass it on to Brad, and then I'm going to ask you, Hayden, to say the last word. But continue doing what you're doing, brother. Music is awesome. If you can make a career out of it, God bless you. If you can do that, because why wouldn't you? If you can, do it.
Yeah, look, I want to just want to also, mirror what Andrew said there, Hayden. Just continue your path. It sounds like you're on the right path. It sounds like you got great guidance from your dad. So stick with it, and don't ever give up. And thanks for joining us on the show.
Right.
Well, I want to thank everyone in the chat for joining us, and anyone that's watching this back later that's not already subscribed, please do. We're trying to grow our little humble channel here, and we feel like we've got a lot to offer. So subscribe, give us thumbs up, and for us, share our channel, help us grow. That's what we want. So thank you.
Awesome. We appreciate it. Okay, we're out of here, guys. We'll be on tomorrow with the Rock Professor.
Yes.
In a couple of hours' time from now, we'll be doing Van Halen 1. We'll be doing Led Zeppelin 1. Brad's going to be leading us through on that. And if you guys know anything about the Sunday show and the British Electric Blues show, you know where Led Zeppelin fits in the scheme of things with Brad. No need for me to spell that out.
Well, like I said on the last show, Andrew, I said, after in the green room, I said, I think I'm going to pick something rock. And I couldn't believe that when I went back and looked at previous episodes, we haven't done this album yet. So Led Zeppelin 1, here we come.
I look forward to it for two things: the in-depth analysis that Brad always provides, especially on albums that are very dear to him. Because he knows Led Zeppelin off by heart, so he can basically, sit back and we can listen to him for an hour, talk about it. But also, we've got to do a bit of work. We'll be ranking the tracks. But I look forward to that. So if you guys like Led Zeppelin, Van Halen, and British Electric Blues, please subscribe to the channel. As Brad said, I'll attach everyone's social medias to our community page. There's already some YouTube channels up there. Brad's there, Hoss is there, Fruitcake Tony's there, My Blues Guitar is there. Tone Revival is there. There's a couple of other guys there. If you want to be there, let me know. Let Brad know, and we'll put you there. Easy peasy, Japanesey.
Easy. Well, thanks, guys, for joining us. And Hayden, thanks for jumping on, buddy. We look forward to chatting to you soon, and all the best.
Thank you. Appreciate it.